is Madison and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I thought we would sit down and do a review of the Bilt Rewards credit card. I've had this card for about a year now and wanted to share my honest thoughts on if I think it is worth it or not. Now, before we get into today's video, I would really appreciate it if y'all subscribe down below so you don't miss any future uploads from me. I'm a current grad student who is really into productivity, personal finance, and I figured today could be a great time to share my honest opinions on the Bilt Rewards credit card. Now let's just cut right to the chase. Yes or no, is this card worth it or not? Right off the bat, I'm gonna say yes. There are a few caveats, but for me personally, and for anybody else who's in a similar financial position as me, I absolutely think this card is worth it. Now let's take a look at why. If you're interested in applying for this credit card, be sure to use the link down below. It would really help me out and y'all have a few perks waiting for you as well. Now a little bit about how this card works. This is a Bilt Mastercard that gets you credit card points on using this card for rent. Now, the biggest perk with this is that almost any other time you try to use a credit card for rent, there will be a transaction fee. Now, the workaround for this is that you have a checking account associated with this credit card. So when you go to pay your rent on your rent portal, your payment portal for the apartment complex or wherever you are living, you will put in that checking account number that comes associated with your credit card. So on the apartment complex's side of things, or the payment side of things, your rent payment is being processed as though it's coming through a checking account, but in reality it's coming through a credit card. This is how they can bypass that fee and you can get points on your rent payments without paying a fee. This is absolutely huge in my opinion. Now, a few things with this, like any other credit card, there are little caveats here and there. It's not nearly as simple as just show up, pay, and you get points in your account. So let's walk through some of the biggest hurdles, pros and cons to this card. This card gets you 1 times points on all of your rent payments throughout the year, up to 100,000 points per year with no transaction fees. You can get 2 times points on travel, 3 times points on dining, and 1 times points on everything else. There's also no annual fee, which is absolutely huge. But like I said, there of course have to be some caveats because some of this just sounds too good to be true. Now, the biggest con in my opinion with this card, and of course this has to exist for Bilt to make money, is that your card has to be used at least 5 times per statement period in order to actually be eligible for rewards. Now, this sounds easier said than done, and this is something that I really struggle with, is going out of my way to use this credit card. Now, I have such a good arsenal in my opinion of credit cards in my wallet right now. Of course, it could be a little bit better, but I have a card I gravitate to for online purchases, for in-person purchases, for gas, for groceries, for flights, for everything. And finding ways, like I said, to go out of my way to gravitate towards this card is really challenging. I have set up my card on my Apple Pay, and this is my primary Apple Pay card, so if I'm ever using Apple Pay, it automatically gets charged to my Bilt card, which is great. But there are some months when I'm not using Apple Pay 5 times in a month. I have found it really difficult to keep track of every single time I use my Bilt Rewards card, and quite honestly, sometimes I forget how many times I've used it, or to go back and look back to see if I need to use it for my next few purchases to get my bonus points and to get my points back on my rent that month. Now, in my opinion, it's totally worth putting like 4 or 5 $1, $2 purchases on this card solely to get those cashback points from my rent. But like I said, sometimes it feels like I'm going out of my way to use this card, which I don't want to have to do. There have been times when I'm driving past McDonald's and like I may as well go get an iced tea for $1 for the sake of using this card because it'll go to my Bilt card. So all that to say is there is no easy way, or there's no alert system set up for how many times you've used this credit card, so it solely is up to you to be responsible enough and organized enough to keep track of how many times you've used this card per statement period. Now, I'm somebody that pays my cards back once a week. I feel like every time I tell people that, people think I'm crazy, but it keeps my utilization percentage low, which right now for me as a young person still trying to build my credit is a huge factor, contributing factor in my credit score. Keeping my utilization low is great. The caveat to that is I really quite honestly don't know when all of my statements end and when my payments are actually due, because I keep my balances so close to zero at all points in time. Now I understand not everybody can do that, but I feel like this makes it just even a little bit harder for me to keep track of how many times I've used a card in a statement, because I don't even know what dates the statements fall on. My second hang up with this card is that I feel like the redemption value is not all that great. Now, free money is better than no money, and that's sort of how I feel like I'm looking at this card. But if you are trying to look at the Bilt Rewards card to be your next primary travel card or hotel points card, this probably isn't it. I would say go get something else. Go get something like potentially an Amex if that suits your lifestyle, or I have the Marriott Bonvoy card, which I absolutely love for hotel credits. Go get something else, because the travel redemption and the other point redemption for this is not all that great. I have found the transfer portal and the rewards portal on the website to be really confusing and hard to navigate to really get a sense of what can I actually redeem for what. I found that almost every other credit card I have has an interface that is much easier to use. Going off of that, it's also really challenging and confusing that Bilt Rewards is a Mastercard hosted by Wells Fargo, so you actually pay the card through Wells Fargo, or at least that's how I've been doing it. And sorry, Wells Fargo, you have the world's worst user interface GUI of any finance company in the world, in my opinion. It is absolutely awful. It looks like this website has not been updated, or the app, since 2008. And I really find it challenging to want to gravitate towards a card and use this card more than other cards when it simply is hard to use, navigate, understand, and redeem those points. Just for context, with the current statement or points balance that I have and the redeemable statement credit, every 182 points I earn can go towards or is equivalent to $1 of redemption. Now, if you have a higher rent per month, you might be looking at making $10 or more off of rent every month. Again, free money is better than no money. Like I mentioned, if you are looking to make this card your primary card for travel, redemption, other sorts of, redeeming those points, it's probably not the best one you could gravitate towards. But because there is zero annual fee, and I did find it fairly easy to get as a college student, I had no trouble getting approved for this card, and I have a fairly high credit limit, which I was surprised about. I really do feel like it cannot hurt having this card in your wallet if you're somebody that's going to be responsible. Pay it off on time, pay it off frequently, keep your utilization low. It's going to do nothing but help your credit score. Another sort of interesting thing is some of the redemption opportunities for this credit card. You can use it on all sorts of restaurants. You can use it on rideshare, so you can exchange it for points from Lyft, and you can actually get extra bonus points on Lyft and rideshare. You can trade in your points for SoulCycle classes and get extra points if you are paying for your SoulCycle classes and other cycle bar classes, whatnot, with your Bilt credit card. I feel like I mentioned, just viewing the interface and what is actually a redemption opportunity versus an opportunity for more credit card points is really confusing, really hard to navigate, and I have yet to redeem any of my points because I don't know how to do it most effectively. If you are looking for quick, easy, on a whim but valuable redemption, this card is not going to be for you. And I know that the best use of these points is not redeeming them directly for their cash value, but oftentimes that's sort of where I want to gravitate towards. Now, I think this card would 1000% be worth it if I could just get one free month of rent. Now again, if somebody who's much more well versed in how to redeem these points effectively could let me know, please drop it in the comments down below. Something else that is interesting with this card is that there are tiers or status levels. Right now I am currently a blue member, but there's blue status, silver status, gold status, and platinum status. Now all of these different status levels are determined by the number of points that you've earned or how much money you've spent. So to go from blue to silver status, you need to earn 5,000 points in one calendar year or spend $10,000 in one calendar year. I don't know why I don't love this. I sort of feel like it reminds me of a hotel chain, like how Marriott rewards you for spending more nights and you get silver elite status or gold elite or whatever it is. And I think it's great that there is some sort of incentive to continue using this card on a day-to-day basis. The more loyal you are as a customer, of course, the more they're going to reward you back. That being said, I feel like some of the benefits are just strange to me and don't really catch my attention all that much. So I'll read some of these off to you. With Blue status, you get rent day transfer bonus offers. So you get special bonuses when you transfer points on what's called rent day, which I believe is the first or the last day of every month. You get 1-to-1 point transfers for all airlines and hotels, which is great, honestly. Access to the Bilt collection. This is weird. This is like if you're just bought an Audi and you wanted to go get an Audi hoodie or something like that. It's sort of similar to that. Or when you're on an airplane and they try to sell you on watches and sunglasses and chocolates. It's similar to that. So they have their own, they call it hand curated collection of different art pieces and apparel and whatnot that you can redeem your points for through this Bilt collection portal. And then you can also build credit history with rent reporting as Blue status. When you go up to Silver status, the only thing that changes is you get priority access to rent day experiences, higher rent day transfer bonuses, and you can earn interest on points. Now, that is the only one to me that really feels like a standout, is earning interest on these points. Moving up to Gold, homeownership concierge, so you can start to have this concierge service if you are paying rent as a homeowner, if you're paying your mortgage as a homeowner through the Bilt card. Same thing, priority access, transfer bonuses, earn interest on points, 1-to-1 transfer, Bilt collection, credit history. When you go up to platinum, same thing, not much changes. You get elite status, merch. Oh, you get elite status match. So on certain airline companies, you get the elite benefits, priority boarding, priority check-in, extra baggage allowance, international lounge access, that sort of thing. Again, could be great if that's something that you feel like is worth working towards, or you could get a credit card through an airline, get there much quicker, probably get a much bang for your buck, that sort of thing. Access to platinum member specialist support. And those are the only thing that changes. All of this to say, yes, this card is worth it. No, I would not get this card if it's gonna be the only thing in your wallet. Do with that what you will. For me personally, like I said, I'm a 22-year-old grad student. This card is absolutely worth it for me. I have 4 other credit cards that check off many other categories that this credit card does not. I see no harm in having this card in my wallet, given that there's no annual fee. I have it on autopay if for whatever reason I forget to pay it, but I am somebody that is almost religious about paying my cards all the time to keep my utilization percentages low, so I have no fear that I'm ever gonna forget about it, gain interest on it, that sort of thing. Like I said, some of the cons, you do need 5 transactions a month. The payment portal through Wells Fargo is absolutely awful. I find their travel and their transfer point portal also really challenging to navigate, but can't complain too much about free money. So if y'all are interested, like I said, I will have a link down below. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you did so down below, and I will see you all next time. Peace out. Bye.